Let me introduce you to a slightly more complicated model. This one is a Keynesian model with taxes. Y equals C plus I plus G. Same as before. In equilibrium, national income, Y, will be equal to aggregate demand for goods and services. Only this time, consumption is a linear function of disposable income. Disposable income is income after taxes. So consumption is A plus B times Y minus T. T is taxes. Capital T is taxes. Y minus T is disposable income. Okay. So it's just making a very necessary modification to this simple model to more appropriately describe the real world. Okay. Then our final equation is actually, we need one more equation. We need an equation for taxes. And let's just suppose taxes is given by a linear function of income. Taxes are D plus little t times Y. Okay. Now, in this model, what are the endogenous variables? Yes, Y, C, and capital T. So in this model, we have 3 endogenous variables. The exogenous variables, same as before, I and G. The parameters are what? They're A, B, and what else? D and what else? T. Yeah, that's right. The lowercase letters. Now, in words, what is D? The intercept in that tax equation. What is D in words? Very important in these models that you be able to explain in words what the parameters mean. Anybody want to explain what D is? Yes. Tell me your name again, sir. Johnny. Go ahead, Johnny. Right. D, the intercept in the tax equation, would be the level of taxes collected if national income were 0. So D might be what kind of taxes would you have to pay even if your income were 0. Suppose you own a house. Property taxes, taxes like that, which are based on the assets that you own, like your house. Yes. Vehicle too. Yes, I just the other day got a bill for one of my cars. And they didn't ask me what my income was. They didn't care. They just knew that I owned this certain car. And I had to pay property taxes on it. So property taxes would go into D. What about this parameter T? How would you describe that in words? Notice it's the coefficient on Y in that tax equation. Tax rate. Little t is just the tax rate. For example, if t were 0.2, then this would say your taxes are D plus 0.2 times income. Okay, and 0.2 would just be the tax rate. What that would tell you is if Y went up by $1, how much your taxes would go up by. Except this equation applies to the whole economy, not just an individual. Okay. So 2 exogenous variables, 3 endogenous variables, 4 parameters in this model.